though. But another guy who's on the card, another guy from UK,
Yeah.
Paddy Pimblett. He's got a tough task in front of him. Gordon's a tough guy. But I definitely still think Paddy wins this fight.
Yeah, I
But
think he's going to submit him. And I honestly, hell, hold on. I like Paddy Pimblett's chances of knocking him out too,
do
because
you think so?
Gordon doesn't have much power in his hands. He's
He's
tough.
tough though.
He's like a workhorse, but I've seen a couple of his fights and I'm not impressed. Like I just see a guy who's tough, who likes to go forward and is really disciplined and is kind of well rounded, but I'm not seeing a guy who presents any significant amount of danger. And Paddy Pimblett, say what you want, but he's still dangerous on the ground and is probably one of the better submission threats at lightweight, period. Like, is it
Yeah.
striking all that good? No. I think it's, we would get knocked out by a lot of guys. But I think Paddy Pimblett could just knock this guy out. Because
I think that's
I think he's gonna finish him, and I think he's gonna finish. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna watch a couple more of these fights, but my early prediction for this, I think Paddy Pimblett finishes this guy in the second round. I'm gonna go to the second round submission. I think that's the best pick I can make. Second round submission.
yeah. I feel like at some point soon, Paddy Pimblett's gonna lose. Not gonna
Oh
lie,
yeah.
because I think like I just don't think he's that good, like as a fighter. You know what I mean? I think he's a little reckless. He's hittable. I know he's got great jiu-jitsu, but you can take him down though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think when he goes up the rankings, I think he's gonna lose like pretty soon. Maybe his next fight or the fight after. But I think Gordon, I think like his Patty's pay-per-view debut, I think they're putting him against a guy who I think they think that he could probably win against.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be picking Patty too. I think he's gonna win by third round submission. I think it's gonna be a really close fight, but I think eventually towards the later end of the
I think
second
it's
half
gonna
of
be
the third,
a war.
maybe like I don't know if it'll be a war. I just think that like it'll be debatable who's up. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't see that at all. I and the reason I don't see that is because like when you take a guy as confident as Patty with this much hype, like certain guys get in the cage and they just have an aura where like whatever happens, it's gonna be fireworks.
Yeah.
Like McGregor on his come up. Like that guy would not have a boring fight, period. He never
Oh, I
has
mean, I
had
think it'll
one.
be an entertaining fight. I just think it'll be close. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think if it's going to be close, I think this thing could be a war, like straight up. And I think Paddy Pimblett's going to get the better of Gordon. I think Gordon is probably training his ass off. Anyone that fights Pimblett, it's like fighting McGregor. You're going to train as hard as you can to try to
you
take
want
his
to shut
hype.
this guy off, you
Yeah,
know.
to shut him up. I just think Paddy Pimblett has like when you're that confident, and he may not be the most disciplined guy, he may not be the most talented guy, but he's dangerous. And when you're that confident, it shakes people. And I could see Jordan Levitt, he's not, I don't think he's like top 10 worst guys at lightweight. I think he's okay. He's never going to be ranked. But, he was shook when Paddy Pimblett walked out. Like he was not ready for the moment. Paddy Pimblett, I feel like guys aren't ready for a moment that big until it's like a big fighter, like who's got a lot of experience, like a Poirier or someone with big fight experience. And I just think that's going to break a lot of these guys like Gordon. I think that Gordon is just gonna. I think Paddy Pimblett's confidence is gonna take him into the rankings. That's what I think. I think Paddy Pimblett is like the most impressive guy based on his confidence right now, and that's why I love to watch him. And I think he could be a massive star, to be honest, because of it. Because if this guy keeps finishing people, that's going to be his fourth finish in a row in the UFC.
Yeah.
Which is impressive at lightweight. Four finishes in a row at lightweight when you have that much hype is impressive. And, I've heard him talk about how him and Conor McGregor would sell the biggest pay-per-view of all time. That's a little bit delusional because, I understand he thinks he's a big star, but what made that fight so big as well, other than the fact that it was just Conor and Khabib, was the fact that it was competitive and Khabib was a champion and Conor McGregor was like
Khabib was so dominant before that.
And Conor McGregor, right before that fight, in the UFC, had just won his second belt, right? Yeah. He fought Floyd, but before that, he was still like a dominant champion, like not a guy who would defend his belts, but Conor McGregor was like the man.
He was a top 3 pound for pound fighter.
Yeah, still top 3 pound for pound. Like he had just had 2 belts a year ago. That was Khabib, a champion. Like that was competitive and high level. Paddy Pimblett's not on that level. If he fought Conor, I think it would sell like 1.8. But
yeah, which is still good. But yeah, no, I don't.
I don't think it's yeah.
To say it would break records is
It would not
delusional.
break records.
Islam, no, Khabib also at that point had a bigger fan base than
And
Paddy
Islam,
Pimblett. You know what I mean?
he had a bigger fan base than a lot of these. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think
But
he's a
I
bit
think I want
delusional.
Paddy to win because I think it's good for the sport if he wins. I don't think he can beat a guy like Poirier, like Chandler. I don't
Yeah.
think he can beat these guys at the top of the lightweight division. I
Yeah.
think
I
even
don't think he
Terrence
beats
McKinney might
Chandler.
finish him. I mean, these guys like that hit really hard, that are just
Mhm.
explosive.
Jalen
Um,
Turner beats him.
Jalen Turner
Um,
beats him.
maybe
Yeah.
Brad Riddell versus him would be a good
No,
fight.
I think he destroys Brad Riddell. I think Brad Riddell sucks, to be honest.
Yeah, Brad. He only got the
I
height to
think
be
he would
crazy.
take Brad. I think Brad Riddell is small for lightweight. And I think he'd take him down and submit him in
Jalen
one.
Moicano maybe versus Paddy.
That'd be a tough fight for Paddy Pimblett.
That would be a good fight. Be a tough fight for Moicano too.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the next fight to make. Who knows?
I don't think they're
But
going to toss him up the rankings.
yeah, maybe not. But yeah, in terms of Paddy, I think I like. Look, I think people like him, but to say that it would do like records is crazy. The dude has never fought on a pay-per-view in his life yet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I just
let's
remembered we're going to get to see him at a press conference for the first time.
yeah. So we'll see.
I'm
I don't
excited,
know.
dude. If he can do the opposite of what O'Malley did, which is like be nervous and like not say anything entertaining. O'Malley at a press conference is like watching paint dry. One of the worst guys ever at a press conference.
Which
Yet
is
he
so
talks like
weird,
he's trying to be Conor McGregor. Like I hope Paddy Pimblett actually talks some shit. Because if he wants to be a big star, he has to talk some shit. That's just how the fight game goes.
Yeah, you got it. You got to be a better trash talker because O'Malley, I think, is going to be a pretty big star, but he'll never be like a huge star just because of the trash talk. I think Chimaev's even a decent trash talker. You know what I mean? Like he's good on the mic. So I think that's why Chimaev. When someone asked me like, who do you think's a bigger star? Chimaev, who's going to be a bigger star, Chimaev or Sean O'Malley? I said Chimaev, and it doesn't have anything to do with the social media. It has to do with the trash talk, and also the level. So the skill level. So I think Chimaev's a lot more skilled than O'Malley, and has a way higher ceiling than O'Malley, and he's better in the mic. So I think, Paddy. I mean, if he's good on the mic, then like,
man, I really
no matter how
Paddy
good his
Pimblett.
skill is, he'll be a big star. You know what I'm saying? Because we see guys like Nate Diaz who aren't necessarily the best fighters be huge stars. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'd be a pretty big star. I'm interested to see how he looks at the press conference too. I'm interested to see him fight on his first pay-per-view and hopefully get a win. Because like you said, he's better. Him winning is better for this sport. So I want to see him get a win. I want to see him call someone out after, and I want to see how far this guy can go in the rankings. So
dude, I want to see him finish. I want to see him trash talk so much, man, because if he trash talks Jared Gordon, that'll be just so entertaining because we know Jan Blachowicz and Magomed are not going to trash talk. Dricus, Duplessis, and Darren Till, they may say some words back and forth.
I think they may.
I think Dricus is a guy who's not afraid to trash talk, actually. But man, I just really want to see Pimblett like make some news headlines because if again, like these guys that are up and coming stars, like come on, man, like talk some shit.
That's what you need to do.
It's a show. It's a show.
That's how Conor got the hype. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how
these guys they're always saying just you'll watch me fight. Like it's not about that, bro. Just talk some shit. Like, dude, just imagine if you have another guy who can talk shit. That's gonna be all over YouTube. Conor McGregor went viral in part because of his trash talking. If it wasn't for his trash talking, he would have never been as big as he is today. Not even close.
No, never. Exactly.
And that's what got a lot of casual fans like me. I started watching Conor McGregor. I started watching the UFC in 2016 because it was Conor talking shit on YouTube against like Nate Diaz. Like that's what got me interested in their first fight. Because I saw Conor and Nate Diaz go back and forth, and I thought it was so entertaining. I'm like, I would need to watch this.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. You couldn't have said it any better. These guys need to start talking.
And John Jones Cormier, when they were going back and forth way back in the day,
that was
2014,
so entertaining.
I was like, shit, I need to watch this fight. Like, you know what I mean?
Both times, yeah. Especially
that's how you get the casual fans to tune in. Like we were all a casual at some point. That's how you get them in, and that's how you become a big star.
Yeah, exactly.